Is this thing on? I have a disclaimer. My videos, my content, and my channel is not for children. None of my content is made for children. Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I very welcome my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello, welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can continue this or any other conversation I ignite over on my Twitter at Movies TV Mad, my Vero at Big Mouth 1, and the extension to this channel, which is my Instagram, Big Mouth. So Daniel Craig, hot off the press, has just said that No Time to Die, the upcoming James Bond film, will be his final performance, his final movie as James Bond. So now we can talk about him and look back and talk about what kind of Bond he is. First of all, this is the first James Bond reboot. That was massive, and they didn't really make a big deal. They didn't really announce it, but officially, Casino Royale was a reboot. It was a new timeline. It wasn't continuing from the other Bond movies. I love Casino Royale. I think it's the best out of Daniel Craig's movies. He's big, he's robust, he's aggressive, he's everything that Ian Fleming kind of wrote about in his books. And I think that is the ultimate Bond movie, the ultimate action thriller, and I love it. Now, most people hate Quantum of Solace. Now, this was the idea of this new rebooted franchise was to be very like Kiefer Sutherland's 24, if you like. So it was going to continue. It was like the Bourne Identity. It's going to continue. So the whole idea was from Casino Royale to Quantum of Solace. It continues at that moment on the steps when he finds that guy, right? That's a good idea. What I think happened and what went wrong with this movie, they were lazy. Because it was like it continued, but it was just like a little continuation. And then they kind of closed off that storyline. Then we came to Skyfall. Skyfall is an amazing James Bond film, but it's not my favourite. I actually think it's kind of overrated, but I do like it. Sam Mendes did a great job. Daniel Craig was responsible for Sam coming onto Bond. Sam Mendes is a critically acclaimed director. It was a great coup for Dan to get him on the franchise. So after that, we had Spectre. Now, I was just excited by the title Spectre. I thought this was going to be the best thing ever. It wasn't. The character, the Blofeld character was well played, but terribly written. They had this whole thing that kind of Blofeld and Bond had grown up together, and it was a great premise. It was very interesting. It was very exciting. So what went wrong? What went wrong? It was, as I say, it was terribly written. You had Daniel Craig at the premiere saying he'd rather slash his wrists than make another Bond film. These are not great things for a lead actor to say, especially with people out there who have genuine reasons to want to do that and, have problems, mental health problems. So it was absolutely terrible by Daniel Craig to say that. So then we came to No Time to Die, and it was an interesting situation. He was persuaded to come back. And we had this whole situation where Danny Boyle was going to direct this movie. And we were all very excited because Danny Boyle is a really, really good director, a really good writer, and a really good creative. All of a sudden, about a year, months later, he left because of creative differences, and they brought someone else in. I can't remember the name of the guy who's actually directed this movie. So we thought, okay, these things happen. Then we heard they were bringing Phoebe Waller-Bridge in. Now, this kind of perked up my attention because then I knew we had a problem. She was making comments on how James Bond should treat women, that he doesn't have to change the way he treats women, but the film has to change the way it treats women. It was already, I could kind of smell that this was a problem. And of course, this is all down to Daniel Craig. He changed the director. He brought in Phoebe Waller-Bridge. These are all ill-conceived things. Now, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is very talented. I'm not sure she has a clue how to write a great Bond movie. And make no mistake, officially she's just come in to rewrite some gags in this film, but I think she's rewritten this whole film. And I still think she's going to get a cameo, which no one will confirm. I think she will get an acting cameo in this film. And the whole premise of this film, of course, is that James Bond is no longer 007. He's left the Secret Service. It's like a country club, isn't it? You can just come and go as you please. So now we've got this woman who's taken the 007 number now. So already you can see a theme. You're not telling me that's not down to Phoebe Waller-Bridge. That's more than just writing a few gags in a movie. So already we've got a very problematic situation. Now, I don't know what the movie's going to be. It could be the most amazing Bond film of all time. I hope it is. I think it's right, spot on that he quits Bond. As I say, he's been a great James Bond, but I think really after Casino Royale, there were many, many problems in this newly rebooted James Bond franchise. I just hope it may be the last time we see Daniel Craig as James Bond. I just hope it won't be the final time we see James Bond the character. Yeah, that's right, that we don't see this new 007, this female 007, actually replacing James Bond. We'll see what happens. Thankfully, we've got all the other Bonds in our collections and we can watch them whenever we want. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge ain't coming to my house and she ain't rewriting and redoing my Bond films that I love, and that she can't do it to your collection. And that's the great thing about modern day film producers and writers. They may be able to reboot things and mess things up, but they can't take away our memories.